Hey everyone, I'm Dev Hotep. I'm the goddess astrologer and life coach. This is the Pluto in Aquarius video. This is a secondary video that I'm making because I think there's some important things to talk about in this topic that are powerful. I think that a lot has been left out of this conversation, and I want to share that with you. Um, I kind of did a first video that went in deep to just all the transits happening on January 20th. And it's got a lot of great content in it. But I am in such a transition myself that um I don't know. I don't love it. I love a lot of the content in it, but I don't love the video and I'm not going to edit it. So I'm doing this video to share with you some amazing, Pluto and Aquarius topics that I think are really going to be helpful. I would love to have some beautiful like screens for you and all of that, but I don't. This is also going to be just a short video too, because I tend to, I'm a stacked Gemini energy. So so I personally, my college, my university, one of my universities mottos was like more from day one. And my martial art teacher would always be like, he would always just give us like the block to the block to the block to the block. And he just keep going. I'd be like, yes, just like I'm like, he's just like a walking encyclopedia. And it was just like heaven for me. And everybody else is like sitting there like lost. And I'm like, just keep going, let's go, let's go. And this is Aquarius energy. This is an example of Aquarius energy. It's fun, it's future focused, it has to keep moving or it feels like it's gonna die. It's that sort of thing where it's like I have this Aquarius energy where if I'm not moving forward, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like I have to move forward, I have to be progressing somehow. And there's some things to that, but getting to the point of this story, my martial arts teacher would kind of like figure out that like he's lost the rest of the class, and then he'd be like, more from day one. And so I kind of picked up this slogan, this joke that's, only a joke to me. But it's definitely a Gemini or a stacked third house joke that more from day one. And so a lot of my videos, I really love them. I think the content's great. And I'm gonna try to start putting chapters in the main bulk of the content and not just only sun sign horoscopes so that you can kind of digest it in smaller pieces and maybe move through it, but also though I really do think there's really great content there for you, and all of those that you love it and respond well to it, I know you love it. And so for those that don't really prefer it, whatever, we all do what we love. So let's get to the important things about this Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius video. I can't seem to say Pluto and Aquarius, but there's a couple of few things. So, we're talking about after the fact because the actual transit happened on January 20th, and then Pluto is going to go into Aquarius for good on November 19th this year. So we've got until September 1st with Pluto into the second pass of Pluto into Aquarius. A planet moves in and out of a sign, um, in and out of a sign many times, about three times, to before it ingresses into the new sign completely. And so I just want to use some pictures to make this a little bit more fun and interactive because I don't have slides and all of that for you today. Although in my mind I do, but it's not really very helpful. Can we just do this video telepically? How does that sound? So please make sure you leave comments, have fun with me, tell me what you're thinking about. I had some comments recently where people are thinking deep thoughts about this topic. I'd love to have these conversations with you. I'd love to pull you up live. And so I might be doing some live videos if you want to get on, definitely subscribe. The more interaction you have with the channel, the more I know that you'll show up if I offer these things. It's just the energy output needs to match both sides. And so that's one of the things that I play around with. So when the outer planets, and here's the sun, when the outer planets They're not proportional, y'all. But here's the rest of the planets, we'll say. When, when the outer planets change signs, it's a big deal. So I don't know what the square is. Okay, so I'm not used to whiteboard yet. I don't know what this fucking square is. I don't want it to go away. Please go away. Where are you at? Delete. There we go. And one more. So when the outer planets change signs, it's a really, really, really big deal. So if we look at when Pluto's a 248 transit around the sun. Oh my God, they have purple. Fuck yes. Yay. I love it. Ugh, and they have like a good color of purple too. Fuck yes. Okay, so when Pluto orbits the sun 248 years, it was the late 1700s, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius. And there's a lot of his story that is worthwhile to look at to inform us about the future. However, I also really, really encourage us to not focus too much on it and to actually focus on creating the future that we want to create, because that is the whole thing. When Pluto is going into Aquarius right now, but also in November for good, for 20 years, we're saying for good, but for good, meaning for the rest of the transit. Saturn is in Pisces. Why is Saturn in Pisces when Pluto goes into Aquarius? Saturn is the reality, and Pisces is malleable, creativity, imagination. We need to take back our imaginations. From Hollywood, from the entertainment industry, from the porn industry, from all these places who have warped our imaginations, filled it with apocalyptic fear, apocalyptic stories and narratives, fear, all of the things that have happened the last 4 years, the safety spell, all of these spells on top of spells on top of spells. People are literally walking around in cages of thoughts. Like you have people who, here's the person, and they're literally just in this jail cell. They're just in this jail and they think they're free, but you can tell, like I can't get over this chick that I met. She's a woman, and I can see her beautiful soul, the spark inside of her, but I mean, I guess you could say it's not lit. I'd be interested to hear how my guides would like put it, but like she is in this soul cage, and this cage is literally only made of thoughts. Thoughts are, air. They're just ephemeral. They're not anything solid, and yet they have this much power. We think the things that are tangible, this is air. This is, Aquarius isn't just air. Aquarius is vibration, frequency. And even though, we think that it's an air sign, Aquarius is water. Aquarius has a lot to do with water. It's the water bearer that fills everyone's cup in humanity, but also, liberates one to like learn how to fish. It doesn't just teach you how, it doesn't just like give you the fish. It teaches you how to fish. It provokes you to seek your own freedom. It's a provoking energy. And so it's air, right? And water and frequency and vibration. And this woman, she's just in a prison, literally, of thoughts. The prison that she's in is thoughts. So we're talking and having a conversation, and she's telling me about, we're talking a little bit about astrology, and she's a Sag Pluto, and man, Sag Pluto generation. It's a tough generation for me personally in my makeup, because I'm so I have such Aquarius energy within my Sag Gemini polarity. Remember, we all have all 12 signs. We all have all 12 signs. Like, this is so important to remember. We all have all 12 signs. So how are all 12 signs acting within your unique DNA of your chart makeup and your personality and who you are and how you show up in the world? Because it's unique, and that's Aquarius. You know, Aquarius is embracing your uniqueness, embracing your uniqueness. And so this is something that people are going to be liberated in new ways that they're not even aware of. They're going to be liberated within themselves, even though they might still be doing the external 9 to 5 job, towing the line of the patriarchy, still doing the overculture programming, you know, the way that the overculture says to do the world. They may on the external surface be doing that, but very much be being liberated within their own psyche, soul inside, which will eventually correlate to changing things externally. Perhaps they'll need more people to be doing it before they feel like they can do it, because literally there's these programs of the mind that make us literally afraid because of past life conditioning that we will get in trouble if we step out of the known lines of the world, the known reality of the world. We will get in trouble. There's going to be, the man is going to come and get us. The cops are going to find out. Somebody's going to find out. It's literally usually a very unconscious fear that people have in their psyche from past life situations of all of the events that we have been through historically, that we have had lifetimes during those events, and we come into this life with that memory. That memory is deeply subconscious and unconscious for most people, yet it is playing out in their life, and they can't identify that that is what it is. This is the work I do with my clients. I have my psychic gifts, my mediumship gifts, and this is where I use them in my coaching program with my clients to help my clients understand, not to help my clients understand, to identify for my clients their subconscious material that's playing out in this life that they can't identify. They kind of sense it, know it, feel the energetics of it. There's usually, they often see the results of it, the patterns that are going on. But and often they are blaming themselves and judging themselves, and everyone around them is blaming them and judging them too, when really actually there's a very good reason for why they're doing the behaviors they're doing, or they're not, you know, self-actualizing enough, accomplishing goals enough, or they're having issues or blocks or whatever. There's really good reasons why, and they are able to overcome them very easily with my methods and techniques. I help my clients to reprogram a subconscious belief in 3 days to 2 weeks. It is incredibly effective. And when you just think, if you reprogram beliefs like I am valuable, I am lovable, I deserve money, just think what changes in your life, because you show up in your life as if that's just truth. It's just a new truth. You don't even think about it. It just is your reality now. And so you automatically behave differently. You automatically attract differently. It's huge what it shifts in your life. You don't attract bozos into your life anymore because you now act from a truth of I am valuable. So you don't attract people that don't value you anymore, but want to manipulate, walk all over you, step on you, get over on you, whatever. Just take your time and energy and attention. Just people like that just are drainers. I don't know where they come from. It's just like I don't know. It's like they're background characters or something, and they just come out of the ethers and they're like, hey, I just want to like take up your time and your energy and like have nothing, like nothing's happening here, but I'm just taking your time and energy. You know those circumstances. You've experienced this before. I guarantee you. So this person that I met, she's just such a great case study, like example. And God, I wish, I wish I could help her. This is what I'd love to do, is help her, or anybody like this that's just living in these cages because they're not questioning their own mind and all of their thoughts. And with Aquarius, question your mind. Let's actually put question your thoughts. And let's put triggers in parentheses, because this is the reason why people don't question their own mind, and they get really defensive when you question their thoughts in their mind, because of several reasons. One is because they are living within the dynamics of they're living within the dynamics that they've had all of these experiences where people are questioning them, so they don't have the experience, just they don't get the chance to just explore, discover, play, and experiment with ideas. And so they get defensive because they've had so many experiences where people are like, no, that's dumb, that's not true, or just had a superiority issue, vomiting all over them. And so they're just in this mode of, play and experimentation and fun, and somebody comes along and is like, that's dumb, that's stupid, no, you're not right, you don't know anything, blah 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 blah. And so they're not hanging out with somebody that just lets them play and have fun and experiment and play around with ideas and just ask questions and things. There's this show, I wish I could remember the title of it, because the title of it is like absurd and great, but it's these four people that like take a little flyer, take a little number off a flyer, end up in these weird scenarios that just seem like it's some game being played on them, some trick, but it makes them feel like they're in a spy show, and they get put through all these different like situations that are like crazy and cool and fun. And all of them have different ideas of like, this is probably just some game or whatever, or like maybe it's like being filmed in the background for an experiment or whatever, but it's really fun and it got me up out of my boring life, so I'm doing it. And this other guy thinks that it's like something really deep going on, and like maybe it's a government experiment, and this other guy thinks like, what if it's just real? And the one guy at the table that's kind of like the smart guy, so to speak, plays that character, that role, is like responding to him as if that's the dumbest thing to say in the whole world. And that's why he didn't want to share his ideas, because they had to like pry it out of him, be like, come on, just share what you think. And he's like, what if it's real? And he wasn't saying it's real. He's asking the question, what if this is real? What if it's true? And instead of being responded to as if that's so dumb, why don't we just explore and play with the ideas? Because Aquarius is radical, radical ideas. And we fucking need more of that. I'm not talking about dumbass ideas where, you know, like, you know, like people are talking about there's clouds near the moon that are alive and that have technology in them that are spying on us and that have something going on, like Robert Temple is talking about. Like, and you could say that I'm doing the same thing of just saying that's silly, but it's not true. I have fifth dimensional guides that tell me what's true and what's not. They call me on my own bullshit, even if I don't like it, or they tell me, things I don't want to know because it's hard to take, hard to handle, and also psychically, I can read books and tell like what information out of it's true, what's not. And I'm talking about truth as in like natural law, natural truth. And for just who I am, that's something I need to know for myself. I don't try to push that on anybody, and that might not be right for other people. But like, I'm not talking about things that aren't true. I'm talking about exploring ideas that expand our conceptual ability to think and reason and play and discover, to expand our conceptual ability to finally take in more ability to conceive what this universe really is at higher levels and expand and try all different kinds of ideas on, you know. But I'm not talking about like settling on an idea and saying something's true when it's not. Really different things. So one of the things I was talking about, because I'm definitely tangential sometimes, and I hope that this is just super fun for you. This is really meant to just be fun and to explore in this conversation. And I just am going to hit upon a couple of points, and I'm going to make this video short, but there's a few points that I want to leave you with. But one of the things I was saying is that I have a lot of Aquarius energy within my Sag and my Gemini energy. And so my Aquarius energy helps me to break out of these boxes that I could be in with my Sag and Gemini energy. Here's the thing with any of the 12 signs, we could be in boxes with it. We could be in cages. And Uranus is a freedom liberation principle. It's trying to break you out of all of the cages. You know, it's trying to liberate. It's trying to free. It's trying to individuate. You know, and the Saturn principle, you know, the signs are always working together. The planets are always working together. The Saturn principle is forms, you know, structures, and it's even crystallization. However, I think a lot of astrologers focus too heavily on things being crystallized because we have so much thought from the past crystallized. This is what glamour is, you know, where things are glamorized. Like, for example, materialism is really glamorized to the section of the population that is really in the consensus status quo herd state of evolutionary condition. And there's the individuated state of evolutionary condition, and then there's the spiritualized state of evolutionary condition. I particularly think this is an amazing lens to look through to understand our world better and understand people better, because then we kind of understand why people are where they're at and why they stay in those boxes and they can't come out of them. It's because their soul comes in the herd state or in the individuated state or in the spiritualized state. And so they have the soul compelling, or they're straddling two of those evolutionary conditions to be able to move to another. So crystallization is a problem that we have so much of it from the past, tradition and all of this stuff. But this is what Pluto is going to do. Pluto is shifting. And here's the thing is Pluto is social. So you have to remember that, like, Pluto is social, not Pluto, Aquarius is social. And so we were in Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Capricorn. Gosh, man, I can't, like, all the signs are like, we were in Pluto in Capricorn for 16 years. And Capricorn is like a nose down, focusing on a project, getting it completed, very focused, very internal, feminine yin sign. I want to focus. I want to get this done. I want to be inside the house. I want to work on this project. I want to focus to completion, to fruition. Aquarius is social, fun, gregarious. Let's get out in the world. Let's try all these things. Let's do stuff. Let's get out in the sky. Let's go be a pilot. Let's fly. Let's aerospace. Let's make things, you know, fountains, drawing up the water, you know, to the sky. Like, Aquarius rules wells, fountains. It rules moving water from underneath the earth to the sky. And 2 days after Pluto goes into Aquarius, Pluto about unearthing things and also bringing what's subconscious, conscious. We have these torrential rains in San Diego, these floods. I used to live in San Diego. It's one of my favorite places, even though the people are very insular, very much like the French. You kind of got to go get involved in an activity or know people there. Don't move there cold, man, if you've never lived there. Like, move knowing some people or get involved in activities and find your people like right away. But it's a very insular place, but it's just such an amazing place. Like, before I ever moved there, I was like, Dr. Seuss, when I finally, like, you know, when I moved there, when I first got there, I was like, oh my God, Dr. Seuss, dude. Like, I was like, Dr. Seuss. It was just my first, like, I just knew. And I didn't actually know that Dr. Seuss lived in La Jolla. His wife still lives there, and they have this like round house that like turns on an axis and it's on the ocean. And oh my God, I think it's broke or something, but it literally has windows 360 degrees and turns. And like, dude, his book, it's San Diego, like, except colorful. And so, anyways, getting to the point, San Diego has these record flooding that is like just such damage and destruction and surprise. And Pluto is surprise. And also in Aquarius, Aquarius is trauma, surprise, disruption, breakdown. And it's for a purpose. However, we don't always know what that purpose is until the reality, the crystallization start to break up, probably this happy little life. Everybody's just like getting by, going by, working, drudging, or, the freedom of the beach and the ocean and the lifestyle type of city, San Diego is, I'm a surfer, I'm a adventure, I'm a this or that, it's breaking all that up to make people more liberated and more free. But often that breakthrough is through a really challenging, man, that looks blue, but it's like very purpley. Through a very challenging experience of these floods. And Aquarius is bringing water from, it's a fountain. And there was a fountain from the sky that fell in a deluge at a very short record amount of time and flooded San Diego. And we're having record rains around the country. So this is just an example. Also, where is Aquarius moving into your chart? Because Aquarius is moving either into a whole new house in your chart. Most likely it's just moving into Aquarius within a house that it's already in your chart. And most likely through this 20 years, it's going to be in up to 3 houses for some people with interceptions, or definitely in 2 houses for most people. And so this is big. And then the house that you have Aquarius on the cusp of, that's big for you. So, what is your Pluto and Aquarius house? You're going to want to know. Like, my friend has Pluto changing signs into Aquarius in her 3rd house. And 3rd house is your voice, speaking, communications. She got laryngitis. Also, Pluto is illnesses, sickness, pestilence. And also, when big outer planets shift, it's big. Remember, I was telling you that this is not small. This is a really big thing. When 16 years ago, Pluto shifted into Capricorn, that's when we had the banking crisis, the housing crisis, the banking scams and loans all came from out from underneath the secrets, Pluto, and got risen to the top so we could see it. And it exploded. Of course, the banks were bailed out when they shouldn't have been. And we have, what we have, but at least people finally got to see the secret that was hidden underneath. The pimple popped, the yucky, gunk from inside the pimple came oozing out, and everything exploded, and we got to see it. And so right when Pluto goes into Aquarius, we have the flooding in San Diego. People are getting sick because Pluto is illness. Also, when outer planets change, it's just such a huge energy current change to our consciousness, to our vibration, to our system, to literally our nervous system. And then on top of that already being the case, you have Aquarius being your nervous system. You have Aquarius being vibration, frequency, consciousness. So you're getting double, triples. You're getting multiplicity here. And Aquarius is the 2 wavy lines. And so have to understand that our nervous systems have had to change. Literally, our DNA is changing in the human species to accommodate the rise in our consciousness as humanity, to be able to handle this expanded consciousness and awareness. So this is shifting us huge. We're going to have effects. So for example, my friend got laryngitis and she got sick. She just thought it was a cold and she didn't really take it seriously, and not, on purpose or whatever, but you're just going about your life, and she's not necessarily focused on astrology and stuff, and not really thinking, not really knowing the information that, like, when big outer planets shift, you often get sick, you often get tired, big things are changing, your nervous system is being affected with this, your consciousness is being affected, your energy is being affected. Just think about awakenings you have gone through, which awakening is Uranus and Aquarius, right? Just think about awakenings you've gone through where you have had to integrate and went through this integration period with just needing lots of sleep and rest and nutrients and time in the sun and time to be and to play, because it's just so much that your body is handling and adjusting and integrating. And it's something that my guides keep always reminding me and my clients, is that like we need to give our bodies rest and make sure we're always connected to the elementals, because we can just fly off the earth, so to speak, metaphorically, and then we get sick, and then we're not able to do what we want to do in life and handle our life because we're dealing with illnesses and sicknesses and emergencies and catastrophes and whatever falls apart in between all of that. And so think about this in your life and what could be maybe going on for you here. And getting back to this woman in this thought cage, so we were talking. I just want to give this because it's such a great example, and I feel my heart just hurts so much for her, but this is her trajectory. She's definitely in the consensus status quo evolutionary state. There's a very real possibility by the end of her life, like I really get the sense psychically that she is going to move towards the individuated state of evolutionary condition, or maybe straddle the two throughout her lifetime. Because she's a Sag Pluto. Sag Plutos, they're bucking the system of control, religious control, dogma control that has been, but yet throwing off things completely means you have nothing to build upon. And it just means like there's a complete rejection. There's a superiority inferiority issue where there's these defense mechanisms to anybody that might know knowledge. And there's a pushing away of any type of ideas that don't match up with what you know, even though the whole point of Pluto and Sag is to throw off the old dogma and religious control that humanity has fucking been under for so fucking long, and if we just got rid of the three main religions, we would have more of the population individuated than in the herd state of following these false senses of authorities, and everybody just going along with that and all that comes with that. So she's talking about, hey, I'm a Sag person, Sun Pluto Sag, like I'm traveling, I've got to go to Florida, or not Florida, I've got to go to Australia she's a United States person, I've got to go to Australia, I got to go to Europe, I got to go to some other country, it's really amazing. But she then told me, I'll probably never go to Australia again because of the money, and it just costs so much, and I was just really fortunate, and I'm just probably never going to go there again. That's so bizarre. Like, first of all, if you don't want to go there again, great. But like, why would you just put yourself in a cage and say, I'm never going to go there again because of money? So she just has this thought that she's trapped in however much money she's making right now, however much money her current career can make her. And she thinks that she is bound to that, even though Aquarius and Uranus and, Pisces and all of these other archetypes have been liberating us from all of these false cages that we've been under. That's what they've been doing. These cages, these ideas, the idea that you're bound to only making the amount of money that your profession makes. Well, we've had a democratization of information, technology, and consciousness. You can make however fucking much money you want to make. Also, people are deciding like, hey, I don't want to have to make more money. I just want to actually have to need less. And so they're living off grid. And I'm talking about because they want to. That's not like, I think hybrids for me, I'm probably more of a hybrid person, for sure. Because I love just the privacy of off grid. And I just, I love the earth and nature and trees, so much Taurus energy. But, I don't want the work of living off grid, unless I had somebody doing it for me, and then that's just not what feels right. So, I just don't want the work of it. But some people, that's like a couple of women I'm following on socials, like that's what they want. They love it. they talk about how hard it is sometimes, but also it's deeply exactly what they want, and they may change, you know. That's the thing. Like, we have to be willing to evolve and grow and change. And change feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and it also makes us insecure. And we think our limbic primal brain automatically goes, oh my God, I'm feeling this sense of insecurity, red alert, I need to stop. And so it doesn't grow, change, and it just keeps circling around the same old patterns, but they will make you fucking crazy. And that's what people are going to experience. They're going to experience literally going crazy. We have Saturn in Pisces, which is insane asylums. It's madness. It is like literally having mental breakdowns. And it's going to drive people to that, to the brink of that, so that they finally are willing to get over their fear of discomfort, their fear of insecurity and self-doubt, which are not problems, but they're seeing it as a problem. And so therefore they're resisting the very thing that they're being pushed to go do, to change and grow and evolve. And so people are in these cages of thinking, I'm bound to the money that I can make in this career of doctor, lawyer, or social worker that I've chosen, and I'm bound to all of the jobs that the people that have lived already say or have invented. They don't realize Aquarius, I can go invent my own fucking job. I had a friend in college that was so cool what he did. He just made his own degree. He just literally decided, I want to do this degree. It doesn't exist in the school. He went to the school, took it there, said, I'll have to take all of these classes to learn what I need to learn to have this degree. And he submitted it to them, and they approved it, or they made him tweak it or edit it and revise it. And then eventually they approved it. He just made his own fucking degree, and he made it up out of thin air. Talk about an Aquarian cool ass thing to do that you can do. Aquarius is radical ideas, radical new ways of thinking. It's throwing stuff, it's just like thinking about all these different amazing cool things, because from that we get some really good solid things we can actually follow through on and invoke and do. You know, I'm not saying I love Tesla and all the fucking satellites and space junk that's going into the sky and the decisions that are being made without the common people being in on these decisions that are being made for us, around us, on top of us, without our input. Not that most of the population would have a good, solid, well, you know, well intuited or thought out input, but multiple issues converging here. You know, look at Tesla, look at these things. It's a great example of such a drastic innovation compared to the rest of what people are doing in the world and in society. And it's way long time since. It has been coming, it's actually been suppressed. It's been suppressed because of this, because of traditions. This is also, you know, traditions, religions, what has come before, and making that, you know, making that like idolizing that, glamorizing that, you know, glamorizing the past, glamorizing the 50s. Got news for y'all. Women weren't free in the 50s. Women couldn't vote. Women were domesticated. Women didn't have sexual freedom or liberation, you know. But then we had the 60s, which where that came about, which drove us into the 70s. But then we had the bam smackdown of the 80s Reagan time that kind of, you know, pushed back the whole liberation that we had with the 60s. However, we had so many changes to our world. It didn't stop the changes that took place, because the changes that took place were being infused with the Eastern culture and all of these new different ideas and expanded awareness, expanded consciousness, expanded you know, yoga. People complain about, oh, yoga's on every corner and now it's just like bastardized. No, actually, this is creating freedom and liberation. Okay, like we want to keep, like, the people that want the traditional sutras and understanding of where the asanas come from, because the asanas are super young, they're only 100 years old, they haven't been around that long. Yoga is actually the sutras that have been around a long time. If the people that want that, and that want that rich, you know, history, her story, like that want that, information, they're going to seek it, they're going to learn it, and they're going to keep perpetuating it, putting it out there, teaching it. We're going to keep it intact. We don't have to have this controlling, ruling body. By the nature of all of the individuals that find certain things so interesting, that love certain things, we're going to keep these things intact and available and a resource for anyone else that comes along that loves it and wants it too. But for the people that just want to fucking go to a power vinyasa class, get their exercise on, and have more of a meditative type of flow, go through this certain experience, have the heat, have the like challenge to their body and their mind, which is what I love with particular teachers, and then get the fuck out of there and go back to the rest of their day, we have that too. We want to have all of the options. Aquarius is options. And so getting back to this, and then I'm going to close up here and make this short, is that like this woman is in these idea cages. She's imprisoned herself into this idea that I only can make the amount of money that my profession makes, when that's not true. She could make a million different types of cool ass businesses with a sociology, social worker type of milieu, and do so much good for humanity and fucking make as much money as she wanted to. I'm not saying it'd be easy. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a lot of learning and figuring, and maybe she'd have to work the other job to provide, the pathway for her to start doing the other work alongside it. I'm not saying anything's just a magic button you push and it's bam, done. But get out of the prison, go explore, discover, see what cool shit you could do for humanity, because Aquarius is humanity. Aquarius is humanitarian. It's the sacred activist. Aquarius is a sacred activist. And so, it's the cool ass ideas that can wildly help humanity, like the people who are cleaning up the oceans and doing those bracelets and digging all the plastic out of the ocean. Can they actually dig it out faster than it keeps reaccumulating? No clue. But I'm so glad people are fucking cleaning up the oceans. Like, they go out and dive and have a cool social media page where they're filming really amazing sea creatures, great photography, and filmography, or whatever it's called. And then they are able to, like, they document how they're picking up trash as they're out there doing this work anyways. And so they're doing whatever they can do as they're out there. They're making a difference. They're showing it. And so they're inspiring other people to go out on their scuba dive and be like, hey, I'm going to pick up the trash and bring it in too. Hey, I'm going to do this too. If all of us did that, our world will change. Our world would change. And here's the thing, our world is changing. This is another thing I want to address. So many of you are saying the world isn't changing. Remember, Uranus changes us internally, and a huge part of the population is going to be starting to individuate internally, but they're still going to externally appear to be still towing the status quo line, because that's a little too radical for them to shift. But their consciousness is shifting, their perspectives are shifting, their emotional state is shifting, their frequency and vibration is shifting. So they are shifting. And so from 20 years from now, when the world changes enough for them to finally shift externally in their job, career, their way of living, lifestyle, etc., now they'll go do that. But just know, everybody is shifting in this, whether you like it or not. It's happening to you. But here's the thing, if you have eyes to see, the world is changing everywhere. To me, it's undeniable. It's just everywhere. People are waking up from narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths, from all the abusers of our world that's been controlling the world for 6,500 years. People are waking up from that, realizing they have power, and they're taking back their power. Women are rising all across the world, and we women are the hinge pin to all of society, moving towards more humanitarian way of living, equality, fairness, justice, balance, beauty, art, sexual liberation. People are using what has happened, the democratization of information, consciousness, and technology, to have their own income, have their own way of life, lifestyle, business, and to be free to live, a van lifestyle or schooly lifestyle, and go traveling all over the world, be free, not be tied down or location dependent anymore. This, Aquarius is going to be, location independence. I have made my life to where I am location independent. I have like one little thing that I am working to change, which I have a solution for when I want it. But, you know, overall, like I have animals and these animals don't travel well. And so that's my only little hang up. But the rest of my life is completely location independence. I can pick up my whole business in a blink and I can go travel at any time I want at a moment's notice. I just have to get some bunny care is all. Um, but you know, location independence is going to be this Aquarius archetype. It is this Aquarius archetype. So realizing that. So people, you know, also people are finally waking up to PTSD is not just you know, veterans and people that have experienced war. It's all of us, for one, who've had a car accident, a parent died traumatically, you know, all the violence we've been exposed to just on TV, but also the Twin Towers over and over being shown to it on TV over and over and over. Like these people have been doing this on purpose, and all of the trauma we've been constantly inundated with, living in this society where abuse has been normalized, where trauma and neglect and abuse and yelling and conflict and psychological dysfunction and emotional dysregulation and dysfunction have been we've been habituated to it. This is all, we all have PTSD to some degree and nervous system dysregulation, and everywhere across the internet people are exploding all of these healing techniques, understanding that we all must heal. This is the time of the great healing. I keep saying this, that we are being asked to heal all of the past life trauma so we can truly actually create a really true new reality, move into higher dimensions, ascend, to make the new earth, to just make a whole new society and structure that has been suppressed for actually 100 years minimum, that should have been in place 100 years ago. We've been forced back into this bullshit of tradition and religion and forced back into a fucking regressed, retarded, I mean that not towards people, I mean we have been retarded in our evolution and our growth and our, you know, growth, our evolution, our technological advance, on purpose by small factions of people who want to keep the control over other people. And together, combined, not saying they're all working together, I'm saying that combined, though, it makes a systemic world that we have been living in that now we are moving out from under to make this new world. And it is happening. We are doing it. It is everywhere. You don't have to fight the patriarchy or the old world. We infiltrated it already by being born at this time. And so just know that this bloom of healing, somatic healing, emotions, I'm an emotions expert and a somatics expert. And that's what I do to help my clients understand that emotions are how you evolve, how you retrieve and take the wisdom from all the pain, loss, and challenge you've been through and inevitably go through in life, and to use it to your advantage. It's how you accomplish every goal that you want to accomplish. It's how you evolve, and it's how you heal, is emotions and somatics. It's not through mental processing. And so, and it's also how you deal with vibrational management. It's also how you do your psychic and intuition, you know, navigating this world through your intuition. Remember, Saturn is in Pisces and Uranus is in Taurus when Pluto goes into Aquarius. Why? There's a reason for it. You know, liberating the earth, Uranus and Taurus, liberating the earth, liberating, you know, the body from the spells, the toxins, the chemicals, the programming, liberating, you know, the body, the mind. You know, Aquarius is the mind and it is liberation, but also liberating our soul, you know, Saturn and Pisces. And so, and here's the thing, you know, Jupiter's in Taurus. Jupiter is going to meet up. Jupiter's our belief systems. Why is Jupiter having a Uranus conjunction this year when Pluto's in its second pass in Aquarius? Because we're liberating our beliefs that are going to help liberate the earth and the people of the earth. Okay. Freedom. This is about freedom. We don't understand sometimes how free we are not until we have all the breakdowns and the difficulties that help us then understand, like, oh my God, I was living inside of these stuck places, all based upon thoughts I thought were true. And I couldn't see how I could get myself out of it. You know, for example, with my animals, like I had to like have an experience where I had to put them into animal care, and it freed me up to finally travel and go do the adventure I'd always wanted to do. And, you know, now I don't think that I'm stuck anymore. I think I just have to figure it out, you know, what's the best place to have bunny care, because bunnies are like kind of just a difficult animal. They're an exotic and nobody knows how to fucking take care of them properly, and will starve them and hurt them and not even mean to. And it's a little bit of a tough animal, whereas a dog, I would just take them with me everywhere. But anyways, I don't feel stuck anymore. I feel like, okay, I just got to go find good bunny care. Boom, I'm done. I'm out. I go. And when I know I want to go, when I know I'm getting the itch, I plan in advance for bunny care, and then plan in advance. And that way I can just go when I'm finally ready. So just understand that all of these boxes that we put this in, this woman, I'm just using her as an example, you know, she was also saying things, she kept saying, oh, it's so expensive, it's so expensive. I would, you know, unless you're saying it's expensive as a good thing, like, oh, it's expensive, I would get the fuck rid of this thought, because, you know, it's not true. The truth is something costs X amount of dollars. That's the truth. And if you want that thing, you just have to afford it. And you can make as much money as you want to make. These are the kind of thoughts that are revolutionary to some of you. Some of you have been with me on this journey for a long time and are just doing the work to make it so. You can make as much money as you want. You can also need less money. You can live however the fuck you want to live. And that's what this Aquarius is all about, is about freeing ourselves from the fucking cage, getting out of this cage, getting out of this prison that's all made from thoughts that aren't true, from thought viruses, from spells, from programs, from conditioning of all other people's thinking that's not even yours. Your mother said it over and over, so you think it's true. The people in the news say, oh, genetics is causing this. No, it's stress in your beliefs that cause disease. You have disease because you're resisting growth. That's why you get disease. That's why you get sick, because you resist the growth that's being pushed upon you that you don't want. It's also stress, and it's also our beliefs, and they're all connected. That's why people get sick. So, I just hope this was mind exploding, consciousness exploding. Hope this was really fun. You know, please share this, like this. Please like it. It helps other people find this. You know, please send this off to a friend of yours. Just text it to your friend. Share it with a friend. Share it with a couple of them. I really appreciate it. And because it will help me bring you more amazing content. And if you're loving this, please throw a like down. I really appreciate it. It helps the metrics. And for those of you that throw some dislikes, hey, thank you. You know, YouTube doesn't care which it is. It's just engagement. So I appreciate it. You know, I am doing my 12-week online astrology retreat called Healing Through the Zodiac. It's going to explode you. It's going to help you accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish, heal the pain, loss, and challenge that is still kind of like impeding you in different ways. It is going to help you use astrology applicationally in your everyday life. We're going to deal with your personal astrology, and it's going to be held in the style of Sacred Feminine Women's Circles, women's only retreat. We're going to meet every week. The last one I did was so magical and special. We had just like expanding conversations like you wouldn't believe. Some of those conversations are still, I'm still reeling from them. And so there's a link below this video to come join us there. It starts on January 30th. And don't worry, there's replays. So you are not late. You can join week 2. You can join week 3. Just come join us, because it will be powerful. I'm also doing Reiki each week for those that show up live. So you want to be here for this. It's like it's a $300 value. I'm only doing it for $97. So it's just going to be such a special group of women that are coming, heart-centered, on the path, adventurous soul, you know, soul empowered women. So come join us for that. And if you want to get the podcast, if you want to hook up with me and get my free astrology mini course, if you want to, get into a discovery call for coaching. You know, I do my 6-month coaching container. I have limited spots available at any given time. And so if you've been wanting to change your life, to heal some old shit and accomplish big goals, you know, go into a free discovery call. You don't have to do anything. You just get to show up. I do all the work, and you will get a shift in that call, whether you come into coaching or not. It's powerful. So for all of that, go to empoweredwomenrise.com, and I will see you soon. I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here.